This is for all you multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired.
Now that you've reached the stage in your life where quality television is important, Nubian TV is a black network that speaks to your lifestyle. Nubian TV is the world's first digital network devoted to the upscale and political lifestyles of black people. Nubian TV's programming includes politics, travel, fashion, food, automotive, arts and culture, civil rights, music, and more. Watch now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, or watch globally at nubiantv.net. Nubian TV, it's what you want to watch.
Come with me if you want to live a more delicious life.
Oh, maybe we should get in the van.
In this world, we don't get to control much. The past, male pattern baldness.
Leggies.
Got one right now. The urge to puff that bubble wrap. But there is one thing we do get to choose every single day: what we eat. Welcome to the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment. We have everything you want, didn't know you wanted, and some things you didn't know were possible. Because we believe if you're not having fun, you're not living free. So come on, let's live a little.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money! Are you ready? They are ready.
Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
It's always a good time. That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good. Very good.
Coming in hot, Jimmy, coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh.
Good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too. I'll be here.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in.
That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, where?
Ginger.
Hey.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Well, good evening to you, and you. Welcome in, everybody. Today, 11 of the Diddy trial. We have Chris Ignacio, Lance Jimenez, and Dionte Nash on the stand today. Welcome in, everybody. We have a lot to get to, so let's get in and make it do what it do. Higher is weighing, low is available, but either way, we are live on tour. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see the virtual tour background. Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music. Yes, you do. And then there is a me. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Glad to have all of you here. So let's get it started right here. So we're going to pause right there for a minute. Here we go. From NBCnews.com, former stylist testifies Combs threatened to release freak-off tapes. Judge denies mistrial request. Yeah, they requested a mistrial for Diddy. Oh, you got to be quicker than that. Combs faces 5 criminal counts in total, including 2 sex trafficking, and has denied all allegations. It was the fact that you asked for a mistrial from me. Like, are you serious? 11 days in and you can't take it no more? This trial's a lie, and this trial's a cheat. And I don't wanna be on trial no more. Right here, Sean Combs' legal team moved for a mistrial Wednesday, accusing the prosecution of misconduct over the implication that Combs may have destroyed fingerprint evidence. The judge denied the motion. Among several witnesses testifying was Dionte Nash, a former stylist for both Cassie Ventura and Combs. Nash told jurors he witnessed Combs threaten Ventura with releasing sex tapes of her to the internet. Nash testified Combs threatened to first release the tapes to her parents' workplaces to get them fired. So here we go. Court adjourns for the day. Dionte Nash resumed testimony. The government will have to make new travel arrangements for Nash, who was set to fly out of New York tonight, but will have to return to the witness stand tomorrow morning. He ended for the day being asked about times where it seemed Combs' security team assisted Nash and Ventura, even when it conflicted with Combs. Mia, assuming them for victim 4, is expected to take the stand tomorrow and continue until court ends Friday afternoon. So it looks like right here until court ends Friday afternoon. So basically Thursday, Friday will be 2 days of testimony from victim 4. Still haven't heard from witness 3 at all in the trial. Witness says he last spoke with Cassie after she had her baby. Nash may have revealed some news to the courtroom during his cross-examination, telling the jury he last spoke to Cassie Ventura after she gave birth yesterday. The stylist was asked about when he spoke to Ventura, who was described as Nash's good friend by defense attorney Xavier Dawson. Nash reported that it was after she had her baby. Nash was instructed not to speak to Ventura about any testimony, as they were both taking the witness stand. He told the court that their conversations were generally about how she was doing and what clothing to wear when appearing in court. So there it is there. And that makes sense. I mean, of course, that's your best friend also too. You don't want it to be a conflict of interest, right? So totally understand that. Their witness recalls time Ventura fled Combs in fear. Earlier in the day, Nash recalled a tense moment in either 2013 or 2014, when Ventura was fleeing from Combs following a bad argument. The witness recalled Ventura going up to her hotel room balcony in hopes of evading an enraged Combs, who had sent Nash to find her. The stylist said he feared she was about to harm herself. She was going over to the balcony, Nash recounted. So, as you guys know, that there was that Miss USA Crystal, and she fell off the balcony and flown to her death. Sadly, she should still be here for sure. So, Cassie gives birth less than 2 weeks after leaving the witness stand. Cassie Ventura gave birth yesterday, roughly 2 weeks after she took the stand as a witness in Sean Combs' federal sex trafficking trial. A source familiar with the matter confirmed to NBC News. The baby is her third with husband Alex Fine. Ventura announced the pregnancy in an Instagram post featuring black and white photos of their family, including the couple's 2 young daughters. So, first of all, congratulations to Cassie and Alex Fine. When you really think about it, I know that, motherhood and fatherhood and parenthood is a one-of-one club, right? But imagine after everything Cassie has been through, right? Her body not being able to take antibiotics and having UTI infections and mouth sores and gastrointestinal problems. For her to be able to have not one, not two, but 3 kids after all that, congratulations to her. Seriously there. Witness says he'd rather not give evidence against Combs. Nash told the jury he had kept in contact with Combs and doesn't have any ill will against him despite all that he witnessed. He called the regular text messages exchanged with the defendant loving. I don't hate him, Nash said in his direct examination. It's just not me. Then under cross-examination, Nash was asked if he was planning a lawsuit against Combs, and the witness replied, "No, I am focused on getting out of here, court." Listen, this trial is definitely pushing everybody to their mental breaking point. And, Diddy does have friendships, as we saw here. So I'm not surprised by what Nash said. Now, could it be a little bit dicey for the prosecution of, I don't hate him, right? It's just not me, right? That could also have the defense poking holes in other witnesses, and the fact that, he said the text messages exchanged with the defendant that he called the regular text messages exchanged with the defendant loving. That also could help the defense, but up to this point, no. And I think the defense has to recognize, and not so much the prosecution, because I think the prosecution, for their compass of humanity, I think they honestly get the fact that, these are real relationships, right? So you're not going to throw your emotions out the door on the stand, right? So totally understandable there. Cassie did not want to go to freak off, stylist says. Cassie Ventura expressed that she did not want to go to hotels with Combs to participate in freak offs, but will go because Combs wanted her to, Nash testified. He told the court that Ventura would pack sex toys and be gone for a day or more, returning tired. One example Nash gave to Ventura's not wanting to go to a freak-off was after a birthday celebration that Combs insisted on throwing for her. Ventura did want to leave, but said that Combs was mad at her for not going to a hotel for a freak-off. Nash said Ventura previously testified that she eventually left her party with Combs and gave in to his demand instead of going to a karaoke club with her friends. So basically, Cassie was a slave to Diddy. I mean, telling her what to wear, where to go, how to be. She just wanted to go to a karaoke club with her friends. Like, bruh, you got her for a freak off and all the freak offs that happened. And you couldn't let her have one night of freedom. But you couldn't let her have that one night of freedom because that messed with your apparatus of having control over him. My Lord Jesus. Stylist said he reported violence to Combs' chief of staff. Nash didn't report the violence he witnessed against Cassie Ventura to police because he feared retaliation from Combs, he told the court. But Nash testified that he did speak to Combs' chief of staff, Christina Corcoran, about the issue. Corcoran promised to speak to Combs, Nash said, but the violence did not stop. Of course, Christina Corcoran, just because she's the chief of staff doesn't mean that she doesn't have fear of Combs either, but like, I feel for Nash because it's just like you're trying to do the right thing, but also too, everybody, to use a quote from the trial, we're all in Sean Combs' kingdom and we're all here to serve him as king, right? Combs threatened to release sex tapes to get Cassie's parents fired, Deonte Nash says. Combs once threatened to release sex tapes of Cassie Ventura to her parents' workplaces and the internet, the stylist said in his testimony. Nash showed the court that he was at Ventura's apartment when Combs came over and grabbed Ventura by the hair and ordered Nash to get out. He testified that Ventura eventually got in his car and they left, but that Combs called ordering them to pull over. Combs then came to the window. Are you shit? Bruh. Okay. Combs then came to the window, angry with Ventura over something, and told her that he would release sex tapes of her to the internet. According to Nash, the music mogul said he would first release them to her parents' workplace to get them fired. Nash told the court. Ventura cried as they drove away. Nash said, and the stylist tried to reassure her by telling her that Combs was on the tapes as well. That part, Nash said that's when Ventura told him that Combs wouldn't be on the tapes because he was filming her with other men. Well, listen, he was a dumbass to his own detriment because guess what? Now he's in federal court up for life. And this, is in line with what Cassie said about when they were on that flight back from some trip that Diddy threatened Cassie with the tapes being released. So this is very much, like I said before, in line with what we've heard so far. Deonte Nash describes jumping on Combs' back after moguls start attacking Cassie. Nash was in Cassie Ventura's apartment, helping her prepare for a music festival when Combs allegedly arrived and assaulted the singer. Nash testified. Ventura mentioned the attack in her testimony 2 weeks ago. Nash showed the court that Combs was enraged as he grabbed Ventura by the hair and began to kick and hit her. Nash said he and Mia, also known as victim 4, each tried to jump Combs' back but were thrown off. Combs continued to hit Cassie until her head hit the edge of the bed frame and began bleeding, Nash testified. Prosecutors showed photos of Cassie's bloodied eyebrow when she testified regarding this incident. This piece of shit bastard is a tyrant. Okay, and there's nothing to sensationalize in this trial. I'm reading it as you're hearing it. Why in the flying fuck would you hurt Cassie as she's trying to get ready for a music festival? Why? Because now what's going to end up happening as Cassie was going out to the music festival, people are going to be like, Cassie, you okay? And you caused that. So like, what? Combs threatened Ventura's career, witness testifies. Combs was not shy about threatening Ventura's career if she didn't behave exactly as the music mogul wanted, Nash testified. The witness recalled Combs telling Ventura that if he heard from her smart ass mouth, then her little mixtape won't come out. So basically, her existence was a crime to your ass. You wanted her, but yet you didn't want that version of her. You want the version for your own pleasure, benefit, and satisfaction. Okay. Combs had exacting taste for Cassie's hairstyle, witness testifies. Just before the break, Nash recounted an incident that allegedly showed how demanding and controlling Combs could be with Ventura. They all attended the Vanity Fair's famed Oscars party in 2014, and Ventura wore her hair stylishly down, which Nash thought looked great, but Combs disagreed, picking up Nash by his jacket and demanded Cassie's hair be put up. The witness testified. Nash said he quickly got some hairpins and put Ventura's hair up before Combs remarked, "I was right, it does look better up." Motherfucker, you ain't a hairstylist? What the heck? Really? Over hair, bruh. You sounding sassy and zesty, bruh. Over some hair? You had to grab a dude by his jacket over some hair. Bruh. Oh, my Lord Jesus. Done for the lunch hour. Judge Sumerian adjourned the court for the lunch hour, telling jurors to return before 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The government's lead prosecutor, Maureen Comey, yesterday asked the court to extend the regular lunch break from 30 minutes. The judge granted 45 plus minutes today, perhaps signaling she made progress. Combs would tell Cassie he wouldn't put out her mixtape when he was upset with her, Deonte Nash says. Combs allegedly threatened not to release Cassie Ventura's music when he was upset with her, Nash told the court. The celebrity stylist testified that he spent time with the couple and that quite a few times Combs would tell Ventura he wouldn't release her music anytime she said something Combs didn't like. The singer was under contract with Combs record label for a 10-album deal, but only released one full studio album in 2006. Nash also testified that he heard Combs threaten Ventura's parents sometime around 2012 or 2013 while he was sitting next to her in a car. Now, even though you own the label, right? If that album contract, right, was up for a lawsuit, you do realize you would have lost, right? Because you only put out one album in a 10-album deal, unless you had the stipulations of, okay, this is determined by the set schedule of Bad Boy Records, right? But I think Bad Boy Records was like, it wasn't under Capitol Records or anybody. But even then, you know, other record companies handle the distribution. So if it messed up the distribution schedule, then Cassie would have got money back. So just saying. Deonte Nash called to the stand. Deonte Nash, a stylist who worked with both Combs and Cassie Ventura, called to the witness stand. Cassie testified earlier in the trial that Nash was a friend and that he was present when Combs allegedly attacked her, causing her to cut her eyebrow when she hit the corner of her bed. She told the court that Nash jumped on Combs' back in her defense because Combs was trying to attack her. Clark's brother did want to help the LAF, Los Angeles Fire Department probe, investigator says. Jimenez's failed effort to interview Clark eventually led to a verbal confrontation with the assistant's brother, the witness said. The Los Angeles Fire Department investigation earlier testified that he couldn't reach Clark and Ventura. But Jimenez went a step further at the end of his testimony, saying Clark's brother forcefully told him over the phone that she did want to be interviewed. Jimenez said Clark's brother made it abundantly clear that she wanted nothing to do with his probe. So Capricorn Clark's brother, right, had a confrontation with Mr. Jimenez, right? from the Los Angeles Fire Department. Because if you remember, Capricorn Clark was the one that called Cassie Ventura to warn her that Diddy was at Kid Cudi's house. A black glove was found inside Kid Cudi's car, investigator says. A single black driving glove was found in the backseat of Kid Cudi's car. Jimenez told the court upon cross-examination. Jimenez testified that the glove belonged to Kid Cudi and that it was not sent out for testing as a part of the investigation. Defense attorney Mark Affelio asked if the person who dropped the Molotov cocktail in the Porsche was potentially wearing a glove, which Jimenez said was possible. Sir, really? Give me a moment. Give me a moment, y'all. I just have to do it. I just have to do it. I have to, y'all. I have no other choice. I have no other choice here. Roll it.
I was thinking last night about this case and their theory and how it didn't make any sense and how it didn't fit and how something is wrong. It occurred to me how they were going to come here and stand up here and tell you how O.J. Simpson was going to disguise himself. He was going to put on a knit cap and some dark clothes, and he was going to get in his white Bronco and this recognizable person and go over and kill his wife. That's what they want you to believe. That's how silly their argument is. And I said to myself, maybe I can demonstrate this graphically. Let me show you something. This is a knit cap. I'm gonna put this knit cap on. You've been seeing me for a year. If I put this knit cap on, who am I? I'm still Johnny Cochran with a knit cap. And if you look at O.J. Simpson over there, and he has a rather large head, O.J. Simpson in a knit cap from 2 blocks away.
Not a large head, I can't.
It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. It reminded me that there was testimony early on that Detective Lang had refused basically to pick up a knit cap inside the Brown residence that was shown to him, I think, by some of the lawyers and one of the investigators on that date, because these are fairly common. They don't really disguise anybody who's noticeable, do they? And although I was the guinea pig here this afternoon, if you were to put a knit cap on, how's that going to disguise you? We've been together. I know your face anywhere now, and you know mine. And the people in Brentwood, in West Los Angeles, would know O.J. Simpson. They know his car. They know him. That's where he lives. Even the prosecutors say he's so famous that he can't go anywhere where he wouldn't be recognized.
I had to bring that clip up. I just had to. I just had to, y'all. If it doesn't fit, you must quit. I listen. And here's that line right here, y'all. Here is that iconic line. That was from the knit cap, but here's where the gloves come in.
Gloves didn't fit. Remember these words. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
And there it is. Back to our timeline, everybody here. Investigator testifies that he couldn't reach Cassie Ventura or Capricorn Clark. Jimenez testified that he wanted to interview possible witnesses who were connected to Combs, but was greeted by silence. He especially wanted to interview Combs' girlfriend at the time, Cassie Ventura, and assisted Capricorn Clark, but they never returned his phone calls or answered the front door when the investigator knocked in person. Jimenez said. Jimenez's testimony could go to the government's obstruction of justice allegations against Combs, because witness intimidation is real. As y'all may or may not know, he called one of the former members of Dirty Diddy Money 54 times in one day. So there is that. Defense moves for a mistrial, but gets swiftly denied by the judge. Hold up, shorty, hold up, ish. Hold up, shorty. Hold up, ish. Hold up, shorty. Hold up, ish. Shout out to Sugar Mama. Combs' legal team moved for mistrial, accusing the prosecution of misconduct over the implication that Combs may have destroyed fingerprint evidence. Judge Aaron Surian ruled that the testimony from the arson investigator would be struck, but Alexander Shapiro, one of Combs' attorneys, said the jury would be left with the impression regardless. Facts. And why in the world, right? Why in the world did the testimony from the arson investigator be struck? Like, Kid Cudi's car did blow up, right? There was a Molotov cocktail in Kid Cudi's car. That arson investigator's testimony is very relevant to the case. So why was it struck? Just asking. Prosecutor Christy Solvek argued that there were good faith questions regarding the investigation into the firebombing of Kid Cudi's car. Agreed. Surian denied the motion for a mistrial, saying there were no objections on the line of questioning up to that point. No testimony that was prejudicial in any way, shape, or form. He added that it was possible to raise the fingerprint cards during their direct questioning of the witness because the defense was likely going to bring up the fact that evidence of the investigation was destroyed. You know, it's hey Nikki News, good to see you, my friend. You know, it's very interesting. There's a show called Dexter, and for those of you who know Dexter, let's just say he is a different type of cop, and he collected trophies, which were fingerprint slides, right? So to that end, right, I'm not saying that fingerprint slides, okay, you know, were tampered with in this, you know, trial, right? But it says here he added that it was possible to raise the fingerprint cards during their direct line of questioning of the witness because the defense was likely going to bring up the fact that the evidence in the investigation was destroyed. So, just saying. Fingerprint evidence was destroyed. Witness testifies the trial came to a dramatic pause when Jimenez revealed that some of the fingerprints lifted during the trespassing probe was destroyed. The defense argued that all testimony about lost fingerprints should be stricken from the record because the inference could be that Combs had something to do with it. Well, I mean, listen, if you're saying the quiet part out loud, then guess what? It must be true. What do I always say when I'm putting somebody in their place mentally? What do I always say? If what I'm saying ain't true, don't respond to Braylon Lee. But if you respond to Braylon Lee, it must be true about your ass to some damn degree. The fact that you have entered that into the conversation means it must be true to some degree, right? Because guess what? Nobody knows that you're rich unless you let people know that you're rich. So if I'm driving a top of the line Honda Accord with all the bells and whistles, then guess what? To everybody else, I'm a regular person. Until you pull up to my $5 million home that's paid off in full, and you're like, oh, you got a Honda Accord to keep the bills low so he can enjoy more of his life. Bingo. The more you let people know of what you have, the more that determines how the game is played. In the words of Marcel Scott, who should never be quoted, but in this regard, you gave me the rules so I know how to play. There it is. Let's see here. What the government has done is outrageous, defense lawyer Mark Affelio said. That's what you said? What the government has done is outrageous? What the government has done is outrageous? Mark, really, sir? Really? I'm going to bring up the clip once again. Because bruh. What the government has done is outrageous. What your client did do wasn't outrageous, rather. I just can't do it as the clip loads up. Welcome in everybody to Braylon Lee's Virtual Tour Live, day 11 of the Diddy trial. We are live on tour. I'm giving you the recap from NBCnews.com here. So, of course, we have more coming up. And by the way, before the show, I was watching 90 Day Fiance, their new spinoff show that's in Tulum. It's good. It's good. It's good. We're going to talk about that later on tonight. So as soon as this is done, I'm going to finish up watching that show, and then I'll come back tonight. We'll talk about it, okay? All right. Come on now. Hey, for people, I'm waiting for this damn clip to load. That's where technology can be so much fun sometimes, right? There we go. Okay, come on, load it.
Discover a world of savings with a AAA membership. We're more than just emergency roadside assistance. AAA members save an average of $200 per year.
Just imagine a car on the side of the road
shopping,
for this
dining, hotels, and more. From popular attractions to everyday purchases, AAA has you covered. Visit AAA.com/audio and find out how much you can save. That's AAA.com/audio. Restrictions apply. Visit us online for details.
This is the type of indictment you would expect from someone in the mafia.
I don't know that I could keep him off the stand. He is very eager to tell his story.
They're going to show that video over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their stories.
His reputation is over.
The United States government, they start making this case as a takedown of a successful black man.
TMZ presents The Downfall of Diddy, The Indictment, now streaming on Tubi.
They call them freak-offs. But, you know, back when I was a kid in the late 70s, they were called threesomes.
If these are genuinely threesomes, how do you explain 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
I don't know where the number 1,000 came.
The U.S. attorney said it.
I can't imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need 1,000 for. I imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need 1,000 for. It's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need 1,000 for.
But yet you said what the government has done is outrageous then. Okay. All right. That's the lead attorney for the defense. Okay. U.S. District Court Judge Arson agreed with the defense and struck mentions of lost fingerprints. Y'all are so damn desperate for a win, my Lord Jesus. No doubt this was intentionally set fire, arson investigator says. Jimenez called the fire set inside Kid Cudi's car a targeted crime. It was clear that an attacker took a bottle of gasoline, put a cloth to it, set it on fire, dropped it in the rapper's Porsche, according to the Los Angeles Fire Department investigator. I personally felt that it was targeted, the witness said. Arson is among the acts listed in the racketeering conspiracy allegations against Combs. Ball and Molotov cartel did break, arson investigator says. The damage to Kid Cudi's car was not as extensive as it could have been because Molotov cartel did shatter as it was likely intended to, Jimenez explained to the court. He testified that the cloth fell out and that the bottle didn't break, which would have caused the gasoline inside the bottle to disperse. Jimenez told the court that firebombs his experience can cause significant damage. So there it is there. That's the door of the Porsche there. Los Angeles Fire Department arson investigator called to Kid Cudi's home in early 2012. Arson investigator Lance Jimenez recalled how he was dispatched to Kid Cudi's Los Angeles home and found a Molotov cocktail in the rapper's car. Engine company was already on the scene January 9th, 2012, and found a Porsche with a foot-long cut on its canvas top. Jimenez said he reported a bottle with a burnt handkerchief on the center console with the smell of gasoline. So there's the top of the Porsche. So it looked like that's a cloth exterior there. So maybe that type of cloth actually saved the Porsche, maybe. Kid Cudi break-in was not a reported burglary, LAPD cop says. So Los Angeles Police Department, everybody. Defense attorney Brian Steele cross-examined the Los Angeles officer who responded to the Kid Cudi break-in, getting him to testify that the incident at the home was not reported as a burglary. Steele asked Ignacio whether there was any evidence or reports of stolen items, and Ignacio said no. The officer also testified there were no reports made to him at the time there was a threat to unalive anyone. This is an important moment for Combs' defense because robbery and murder are predicated crimes that would provide support to the government's racketeering charge. Okay. You want to watch that documentary? Yes, it is available. The indictment, The Downfall of Diddy, is available only on Just love our show. One more time, you can watch that on Hey, that's it. I guys, I can't do it. I can't do it one more time. We got to get back to serious things. Okay, fine. One more time. Good. That's all you get. That's all you get. That's all you're getting from me. Now to this. If we remember, right, when Capricorn Clark testified yesterday, she said that Diddy said, and I quote, "Come on, we're about to unalive Kid Cudi." We all remember that, right? So that's the murder charge, and then breaking into somebody's house, right? Because it was a break-in. Capricorn Clark called Cassie Ventura to warn her about what was happening. And guess what? Even though there was nothing stolen, that doesn't mean you can't come in to rob somebody of their life, right? So, or rob them of their property. So, child. The defense is losing their rabbit ass mind, honestly. The car scene of Kid Cudi's break-in registered to Bad Boy Productions. What you say? What you say? What you say? Wait a minute. I have to do this. I have to do this. Give me a moment.
It's not just feeding the hungry only on Thanksgiving. It's an everyday situation. You know what I mean? This is 265 days a year.
That is funny. 265 days? Where the hell that bitch live at?
So the car is registered to Bad Boy Productions? Really? Really? So y'all did think of getting a car that wasn't registered to Bad Boy Productions? That goes to the racketeering charge of him utilizing company resources to commit crimes, you dumb fuck. One more time.
It's not just feeding the hungry only on Thanksgiving. It's an everyday situation. You know what I mean? This is 265 days a year.
That is funny. 265 days? Where the hell that bitch live at?
Now I'm gonna show you the video clip that this part of the testimony is personifying. I want you to watch this guy, okay? I want you to watch him, okay? And watch how he interacts with everybody. Watch for the one thing that pisses him off.
Look heavy. Let me take these to your table.
Thank you, handsome. The gin and tonic's for my sister, Ruth.
Okay.
This one is for Stacey.
Hello.
And if you could hand this one to my boyfriend.
Fuck you. Whiskey? Can I help you with that?
Are you sure?
Absolutely. My lady is in distress, and I'm here to rescue her.
Thanks. They say chivalry's dead, but I think you're making a pretty strong case for its revival.
Well, I'm always ready to help a beautiful lady. I help the ugly ones as well, but I definitely say you're in the former camp. Where am I taking this?
Well, it's only a few streets away. I'm moving in with my boyfriend,
Fuck
Ian.
you. Hello there, beautiful.
Oh, hello.
Yes, sir.
I guess I needed a shorter lead.
Oh, yeah?
Thank you so much. You're such a gentleman.
Well, it has been said that I'm a gentleman, but never a gentleman. Can I accompany you on your journey?
Sure. I've got to get Scruffy back to my boyfriend and then...
Fuck you.
That's Diddy right now. That's his defense team. Like, just when they think they got this shit, somebody's like, I have a story, and they're like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck me. That's the situation. They're like, okay, y'all, I think we're going to be okay. Are you sure we should not have, went to maybe Enterprise? Because then, we could have played it off of, you had to pick your kids up from somebody. Nope, we're going to just use the car for my own company. You sure that this is going to work? It's going to work out just fine. Exhibit A. and StreamYard's going to come out this way. So I'll point this way for the short. So the short's going to come out this way. Now I'm pointing this way. But basically, this situation is a DJ Khaled. Congratulations. You played yourself. Let's roll on. The car police observed leaving the scene of the break-in at Kid Cudi's home was registered to one of Combs' companies, according to testimony from Los Angeles police officer Chris Ignacio. Ignacio told the court he knows a Cadillac Escalade directly in front of the rapper's Hollywood Hills home and memorized the license plate in case it was relevant. The officer added that they did not have a confirmed crime reporting to the home. A trespassing report was made, Ignacio said, and the computer showed the Escalade was registered to Bad Boy Productions Incorporated. But D's the smart one, though, right? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just saying. Pre-Christmas break-in, gifts opened at Kid Cudi's home. When Officer Ignacio entered Kid Cudi's home, he spotted a table with Christmas gifts on. Some were wrapped and some were not. The policeman's observations could back up Kid Cudi's previous testimony that Combs broke into his house and opened gifts he purchased for his family. So there's the robbery defense. Sure, he did steal the gifts, but guess what? Breaking into someone's home that's not yours and messing with stuff that's not yours, guess what? That's trespassing. That's a crime. Once again, this is coming from this dumbass lawyer who's the lead defense.
Can't imagine it's thousands. I mean, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need 1,000 for.
And the government collected 25 bottles of Johnson & Johnson's baby oil, or Johnson baby oil. Let's roll on, child. I cannot. LAPD officer takes the witness stand. Los Angeles police officer Chris Ignacio, a 16-year veteran of the force, took the witness stand for the state. Ignacio was working out of the Hollywood division in late 2011 when he answered a call about a possible break-in at Kid Cudi's house. Court is now officially in session, kicking off the 11th day of Combs' racketeering and trafficking trial. Combs is in court wearing a dark blue sweater over a white shirt. Combs' attorneys arrived to court. Mark and Felly O'Brien, Still and Nicole Westmoreland were all seen arriving this morning after 8 a.m. We're going to unalive Miss Cudi. former Combs aide described his rage against Kid Cudi. In her testimony yesterday, Capricorn Clark said Combs was outraged to learn that Cassie and rapper Kid Cudi, whose real name is Scott Mescudi, were seeing each other. She recalled that the morning of December 22nd, 2011, Combs banged on her apartment door in rage with a firearm and said, "Get dressed, we're going to unalive Mescudi." Clark also testified that she was sitting in a car at Kid Cudi's home when Combs entered. She also said she took Ventura to Best Buy at one point to buy a burner phone to contact Kid Cudi because she feared Cassie was going to get all of us ill. Those are some of the longest fingernails I have ever seen. Although there is a woman who has a Guinness World Record for the longest fingernails. I mean, these are natural fingernails. I mean, just, they look like curly fries. Yeah, I know you're not gonna look at curly fries the same way again. I'm so sorry to you. Here we go. Here's a recap of yesterday. Capricorn Clark, who worked as an aide to Combs for years, testified in court yesterday and described her former boss as ruthless and violent. He testified that he threatened to unalive her subject to days of lie detector tests, asked her to buy drugs, and shoved her at his Miami home in 2006. So Capricorn Clark had to take a lie detector test about some stolen jewelry, and if she didn't pass the test, allegedly she was going to be thrown into the East Hudson River. And also Grayson, who was the assistant, also had to take that same lie detector test. By the way, that same Miami home is where Don Richard, heard that there was a skillet thrown at Cassie, allegedly. Clark also testified about Combs' toxic relationship with Cassie Ventura. She testified that Combs brutally beat Ventura after he broke into Kid Cudi's home in 2011. Clark told the court that she called Ventura's mother for help, told her, "He's beating the shit out of your daughter. I'm in over my head. Please help her. I can call the police, but you can't." Combs should definitely walk, says rival Suge Knight. Yeah, so Suge Knight, the rival of Combs and the one that Combs was going to unalive at Mel's Diner, that Suge Knight. Yeah. Combs' bitter rival Death Row Records founder Suge Knight says the Bad Boy executive is wrongly being prosecuted. Puff and I are not friends, but Puffy should definitely walk at the end of the day, Knight told News Nation host Chris Cuomo in a jailhouse interview yesterday. Knight said that if Combs did break the law, he shouldn't be the only person prosecuted, but the most important thing is that it was other executives involved in Puffy's life, and for Puffy to be the only guy that gets on the stand, it's a sad day for hip hop. Said Knight, who's being held at Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego. The Death Row founder's name was mentioned at trial because Combs allegedly armed himself and tried to confront Knight at LA restaurant in 2008. Knight was sentenced to 28 years in prison in 2018 for a fatal hit and run 3 years prior. Right here, LA, Los Angeles police officer and firefighter set to testify. Los Angeles police officer Christopher Ignacio and LA fire arson investigator Lance Jimenez are expected to be the first witnesses to take the witness stand this morning. That's a mouthful. They will presumably discuss the 2012 Molotov cocktail attack on Kid Cudi's Porsche. Stylist Dante Nash, a former Combs employee, and Mia, an alleged victim of Combs, are set to follow the LA authorities. I'm just a little confused by Suge Knight. So you mean to tell me, bruh, he literally came to that diner to confront you where your life could have been over or your ass could have been grass, but yet you want him to walk free? Dude, you know who you sound as dumbass? You sound almost as dumb as this dumb fuck. Let's listen to this dumb fuck, shall we? Let's listen to him, everybody. Let's listen to Ray J, who also said Diddy should walk free on Pierce Morgan. Oh yeah, he said that. Let's roll it.
Do you forgive somebody for taking somebody's ass? There's a lot of people out here taking from people. Not only like people are getting robbed of not only their money and their spirituality, they're getting robbed of their womanhood and manhood. classes are being taken in ways that nobody can explain. Do you chuckle? Do you laugh? Do you help? Do you criticize? Because I see a lot of jokes out there right now talking about baby oil.
Oh my God.
Everybody got a joke about having baby oil and lube. Is that okay? Is that the message? That was funny, fam. Now what? I don't use baby oil. Lube sometimes in sex makes it better. Should I come out with Ray Y jelly and do some kind of like skit and say, KY just gave me a deal. Ray Y jelly, I got 1,000 of them. Ha 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 ha. Ray Y. That funny to you? It's not to me. Because there's a victim out there that has been. Do you forget?
Child, I cannot. I simply cannot. So with that being said, everybody, here is a clip from ABC News. You know, we always add a video to our recap shows a day just to give you a dynamic visual of how big the magnitude of the trial is. So here we go.
But we begin with another alleged victim in Sean Diddy Combs, expected to soon take the stand. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips.
And I'm Terry Moran. The third week of testimony is underway right now in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Jurors are awaiting testimony of a former employee who will be appearing under the pseudonym Mia. She's expected to testify about the times Combs used physical force, psychological manipulation, and threats of financial and reputational harm to get her to engage in sex acts with him.
This comes after the judge denied Combs' defense team's motion for a mistrial from earlier testimony today. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all the charges and denies any wrongdoing. Legal contributor Bernardo Villalona joins us now from outside court.
Hey, Bernardo. So let's go back to Cassie Ventura, really the star witness in this case. When she testified nearly 2 weeks ago, how important is it for the prosecution's case now to hear from another alleged victim of Combs, Mia?
So the prosecution is using Mia to corroborate some of the same violence and sexual acts that took place against Cassie. So remember, there's always power in numbers, especially when you're talking about testimony as evidence. Because remember, when there's no video, when there's no DNA, when there's no fingerprints, when there's no admission, all you're left with is the words coming out of the person's mouth. But when you add another person, another victim or a witness that is saying something similar to what the other witness said, that is the power in numbers and the corroboration that the jurors tend to rely on.
So celebrity stylist Deonte Nash testified today about the time that he heard Combs call Ventura a number of derogatory names, even threaten her career, threatened to release the sex tapes. How damaging is this for Combs' defense, you think?
So Deonte Nash is currently on the stand now on cross-examination. I was in the courtroom for his whole direct examination in the beginning of cross. So Deonte Nash is a close friend, or was a close friend, of Cassie Ventura. Specifically, he was her stylist and had been working for Bad Boy for about 10 years. He has given damning testimony against Sean Combs, having to deal with not just violence against Cassie, but also violence that was inflicted against him, where Diddy has pushed him and even choked him. But more importantly, his testimony having to deal with the corroboration of Cassie saying to Mr. Nash that Cassie has said that she did not want to do these freak-offs, that she did not want to go to the hotel. That also that Sean Diddy Combs had threatened to release these sex tapes to Cassie's family as well as to the public. Very damaging testimony when we're dealing with, one, coercion and consent, but also about retaliation and violence.
That's a great point. The evidence is mounting up. We'll see what kind of defense Combs has, if any. He's not obliged to offer any defense. Bernardo Villalona, as always, thanks very much. And you make sure, catch our daily show on this trial if you're interested. This is a must-see. It's called Burden of Proof, the Case Against Diddy, airing nightly at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on ABC News Live.
Wonderful. You can also listen to the bad rap. The downfall of Diddy, or the case of Diddy, on ABC Audio, where you can get your podcasts for sure there. Like I said before, in case you missed it, from USA Today, Suge Knight says Diddy should walk free while other executives face charges. Unlikely person has come to Sean Diddy Combs' defense. Suge Knight, the Death Row Records founder and longtime rival of Bad Boy, said in a new interview from prison that the Bad Boy Records founder ought to be found not guilty. I say this all the time. Puffy and I are not friends, but Puffy should definitely walk free. Knight 60 told Chris Cuomo on May 27th, referring to Diddy by his 1990s era moniker. The most important thing is that it was other executives that was involved in Puff's life, and for Puffy to be the only guy that gets on the stand is a sad day for hip hop. Knight's name has been brought up during testimony in Combs' sex crimes trial, including an incident where the producer's ex-girlfriend Cassandra Cassie Ventura Fine recalled Combs packing up Pals from his safe and leaving his Los Angeles home in search of Knight at a nearby diner. And Capricorn Clark, Combs' former assistant, said her personal connection to Knight as the father of her best friend's children caused friction with Combs. And I do recall in Cassie's lawsuit, right, that Cassie actually had to hold some heat for Diddy, if I'm not mistaken, right? So there is that. Knight recalled Clark getting beaten up allegedly, and said she was approached by an executive from Interscope. He said when they talked to him, Interscope gave Capricorn $1 million check to say nothing about the incident between her and Puffy. So when Jimmy, I think, gave her that check, that's Jimmy Iovine, by the way, that's when all hell broke off. And I continue not specifying the executive's last name, but that's the only person I think of, Jimmy Iovine, I think. But at the same time, I don't think there's a case where Puffy should be going to prison. Knight is not involved in Combs' case and is incarcerated at a San Diego, California correctional facility after being convicted and sentenced to 28 years in prison for voluntary manslaughter. Jimmy Iovine, co-founder of Interscope Records, has not appeared at Combs' trial, but the music executive has been referenced in court. Testimony USA Today has reached out to Iovine's reps for comment. Clark has previously stated on the stand that after falling out with Combs, the Revolt TV founder tried to blackball her. She alleged that she met with Iovine for what she thought was a job opportunity, but the Beats Electronics co-founder, Beats by Dr. Dre, among others, gave her a warning on Combs' behalf. They were there to tell me to leave Puff alone. This wasn't going to end well for me, Clark said in response to the judge sustained the prosecution's objection. I can't believe that. So, like, Jimmy Iovine, the guy who worked with Dr. Dre to create Beats by Dre and Beats Electronics in totality. By the way, Beat Electronics was an independently owned brand. I think it was under Monster. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was under Monster before it went to Apple Music. And then, of course, Interscope Records as well for Jimmy Iovine. So Jimmy was one of the people in Diddy's cavalry. I'm not even gonna say cavalry. Cavalry comes from God. The army comes from the devil. So in Diddy's army, Jimmy Iovine was a part of Diddy's army and told Capricorn Clark to keep your mouth shut. It's mind-boggling. Like, dude, Suge Knight, Diddy want to unalive you. He was confronting you for you to potentially be unalive, or the potential was there for you to be unalive, and you want him to walk free? Ooh, my Lord, when y'all call it Hollywood, y'all are not lying at all. From People Magazine, People.com, here's why Diddy's lawyers asked for a mistrial and why the judge said no. This is from People Magazine, People.com. The mistrial motion after prosecutors asked arson investigator about destroyed fingerprint evidence related to the fire bombing of Kid Cudi's car. So this was the thumbnail I used because it looked like Diddy was like looking lovely to her eyes, like, hey baby, let me tell you something. You right here, my Lord, you just look gorgeous, baby. Oh Lord, I can't control myself. And then these two men are like, Diddy, if you could please focus, because this is why you're here in the first place. And this one's like, oh shit, I'm looking at my notes and just, this is not good. That's my interpretation of the courtroom sketch, by the way. Defense attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs moved for a mistrial in the music mogul sex trafficking case, but were denied by the judge. Combs' team moved for the mistrial after prosecutors asked Los Angeles Fire Department arson investigator Lance Jimenez if fingerprint evidence related to the bomb at KK's car has been destroyed. Prosecutors also asked about who might have authorized the destruction. The Bad Boy Records founders' lawyers argue that the line of questioning could potentially imply the idea that Combs could buy his way out of trouble. Well, he thought he could get out of this trial by, offering $50 million bond, got denied 3 times. So, yeah, they were trying to plant this idea to these jurors that Mr. Combs authorized this, defense attorney Alex Shapiro said. I mean, it's very well possible. Judge Sumerian denied the defense motion, ruling that the questions were not prejudicial. Judge Sumerian then instructed the jury not to consider questions about the lost fingerprints. Kid Cudi, whose real name is Scott Cudi, testified last week that his car caught on fire in January 2012 after someone threw a Molotov cocktail in it. At the time, Ms. Cudi had been dating Cassandra Cassie Ventura during a rough stretch in her 11-year on and off relationship with Combs. Ventura previously testified that Combs had threatened to blow up Ms. Cudi's car. After finding out about the relationship, Combs is charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Arson was one of the crimes prosecutors claimed was a part of the alleged racketeering conspiracy. In the indictment against the music mogul, he has pleaded not guilty. And finally, everybody, you heard it. You heard it earlier during the recap, but Cassie Ventura gives birth to 3rd baby days after Sean Diddy Combs' trial testimony. The baby is her 3rd with Alex Fine. Let's see here. Cassie Ventura gave birth Tuesday, roughly 2 weeks after she took the stand as a witness in Sean Combs' trial. In Sean Combs' federal sex trafficking trial, a source familiar with the matter confirmed. By the way, this comes to us from NBCnews.com right here. The baby is her 3rd. The baby is her 3rd with her husband Alex Fine. Ventura announced pregnancy in Instagram post featuring black and white photos of their family, including their 2 young daughters. Ventura, a singer and model, just spent nearly a week in testifying in Combs' trial, recounting allegations of rape and abuse at his hands. So there is Cassie with the 2 young daughters and the baby there. That's when Alex Fine and Cassie made the announcement there. Look at that loving family right there. Nothing but smiles right there, as it should be for sure. Her lawsuit against Combs in 2023 set off a firestorm of abuse, allegations, and lawsuits from others who alleged they had similar experiences, leading to a federal investigation and charges against Combs that included sex trafficking. Ventura and Combs settled her lawsuit the day after it was filed for $20 million. She revealed in court he denied any wrongdoing. Ventura was more than 8 months pregnant when she took the stand on May 13th on her third day on the stand. Lead prosecutor Maureen Coleman called for a speedy cross-examination, predicting Ventura could have her baby over the weekend. U.S. District Judge R.N. Surian agreed with the prosecutor that Ventura's presence in court should not be needed past May 16th, sternly reminding the defense team that it had agreed to only a day and a half of cross-examining Ventura because the defense wanted Cassie to be back Monday morning. Judge R. Surian was like, nope, not happening. Zilch eligible now. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Mark and fellow Combs' attorney said he might want Ventura to come back the following week if needed. In what universe did you not understand this? Did you not understand this is what was going to happen? Judge Armarian asked and fellow in court, you're not telling me this wasn't everyone's understanding that this witness was going to be done this week. So, let's see. Let me see. Oh, it's her first son, y'all. Look at this. right here, Cassie Ventura, Alex Fine welcomed their third child, a baby boy. So 2 daughters and a brother. So I'm sure those will be the 2 most protective big sisters in the world for sure. So congratulations on beautiful baby boy for Alex Fine and Cassie Ventura there. All right, y'all, I'm gonna turn my camera now rather because we've done the whole show for over an hour. Yes, we have. Woo! Another day of testimony done in this trial. Things are beginning to heat up. Of course, you know, everyone's saying that that they don't see the racketeering conspiracy, you know, charges. I see it. I mean, the fact that you had a Cadillac Escalade outside of Kid Cudi's home. Yeah, I would say that's utilizing resources to commit crimes. I would absolutely say that. And then you got Jimmy Iovine telling Capricorn Clark to keep her mouth shut. That's using your resources of your company. And even though, you know, Jimmy Iovine wasn't working for Diddy, guess what? He was an associate. So that's still utilizing resources of your industry to get away with shit. So, you know, it is what it is. Like, and the fact that the defense team tried to ask for a mistrial with all this evidence already out here, it's like, no, you have to be out your ever-loving mind. You have to be, right? So, oh my Lord. And Deonte Nash, I mean, a brave individual. You know what I mean? He gave testimony not only that corroborated Cassie's testimony, but also he also got beat up as well, right? And victim 4, Mia, will be testifying Thursday and Friday into Friday afternoon. I'm trying to see. Trying to see about victim 3 because we have not heard from victim 3. I met 2 weeks ago. Let me see something. Because y'all remember witness 3 was going to take the stand, but we have not heard. Okay, here it is here from deadline.com. This is what I was looking for, just something on the update there. Give me a moment here. Okay, right here, it says under concerns about safety, the feds are keeping their witness list close to the chest, but we know various LA and New York City law enforcement officials are anticipated to testify this week. One individual who will almost certainly not be testifying in the trial is the much vaunted, much discussed victim 3, a key component of the prosecution's case. The former Combs' girlfriend, going under the moniker Gina, was supposed to take the stand to go in depth on the abuse and criminal activity she suffered and saw from Combs. The problem is, about a week before the trial started, prosecution admitted to Judge Serenian and the defense team during jury selection that they were suddenly not able to get in touch with the out-of-state victim 3 nor her attorney. With a looming risk of the 10-lawyer deep market fellow Terry Garagos and Brian Steele, defense may be choosing to move for a mistrial. The government worked to try to get victim 3, Gina, in court, put on the shelf for the judge, though not forgotten by the defense if needed for appeal. The status of victim 3 has become clearer. At this point, she will not be a part of the prosecution's case, which will cause fallout no matter what side you are on. So victim 3 will not, I repeat, will not be a part of the trial there. So there is there. I'll read that one more time. Sorry, y'all, that y'all wasn't able to see that. One individual who will almost certainly not be testifying in the trial is the much vaunted and much discussed victim 3, a key component of the prosecution's case. The former Combs girlfriend, going under the moniker Gina, was supposed to take the stand to go in depth on the abuse and criminal activity she suffered and saw from Combs. Problem is, about a week before the trial started, the prosecution admitted to Judge Surin and the defense team during jury selection that they were suddenly not able to get in touch with the out-state victim 3 nor her attorney with a looming risk of the 10-lawyer Deep Marcafelio, Terry Garagos, and Brian Still-led defense may be choosing to move for a mistrial, which got denied today. The government worked to get victim 3, Gina, in court put on the stand for the judge. I don't know why I said put on the shelf. I meant put on the stand for the judge, though not forgot by the defense if needed for an appeal. The status of victim 3 has become clearer at this point. She will not be a part of the prosecution's case, which will cause fallout no matter what side of the matter you are on. I wouldn't count her out too soon, right? Because listen, we do not know what other witnesses will be a part of this, and Gina might come out in an exclusive interview, probably with Robin Roberts, maybe Gayle King. I don't think that, something of this magnitude needs to go to Tossaway K, who has to pay $4 million for lying about a mother and her child having a sexually transmitted disease. Child, we're going to take a little commercial break. We'll be back right after this. We are live on tour. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We're back right after this, everybody.
Beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams.
How's the gas?
I feel great. I love you, and I love you. And to show my love, guess what? On Tuesday, November 16th, I'm gonna give everybody everywhere free tacos.
You sure you want to do that?
Absolutely. You have good hair.
Get 2 of Jack's delicious classic tacos absolutely free when you come into Jack in the Box Tuesday, November 16th.
Ooh, that's a big tooth.
Get 2 free tacos Tuesday, November 16th at Jack in the Box.
Introducing a water theme park like no other. Universal's Volcano Bay. A relaxing tropical oasis where every carefree moment is inspired by the belief that water is life. And life is joy. This is where you'll make the most of every splash, every scream, every breathtaking thrill. Welcome to a new kind of vacation paradise. Welcome to Universal's Volcano Bay, the 3rd amazing theme park at Universal Orlando Resort.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving y'all right back. Welcome back into Brandon Lee's virtual tour live. Glad to have all of you here in the building. Day 11 of the Diddy trial. Tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow is a brand new day. Tomorrow, Mia, an alleged victim of Combs, is set to take the stand Thursday. And that testimony will be leading into Friday afternoon. So, victim 3 is nowhere to be found, but things can change, right? I mean, of course, that pressure, that weight, that mental, oh my God, that mental waterboarding of say something and see what happens is terrifying. So I pray that victim 3 is all right wherever she is in the world right now. And I say the world because, child, listen, the world is a big playground and the world is a big movie set. Just find your place on the set and stay there. Try not to be filmed. But yes, indeed. So, but yeah, we'll just be here, chill out just for a little bit here. So if you guys got any relevant questions, please throw them into the live chat there. As soon as I get done here, I'm actually going to end the show, and then I'm going to finish out watching 90 Day Fiance because I promised y'all that tonight, and we will talk about it. It's getting really, really good. The show is called, in case you want to watch it, let's see, 90 Day Hunt for Love. It premiered on May 26th, so we will be talking about that a little bit later on tonight. So please stay tuned to your notifications and get ready for a goody good time. That's all I can say. Get ready for a goody good time. There, so we'll probably end it out at 1:30. So yes, indeed. By the way, it comes out every Monday on TLC at 8/7 Central, and then you can watch it the next day on Discovery Plus as well. So if you're ever looking for any Oprah Winfrey content, Food Network, TLC, all that content will be on Discovery Plus. So that's it there. Like I said, 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 52 seconds here. We're just chilling out until the 1 hour, 30-minute mark, and then we will head on out of here. But another good show, ladies and gentlemen. Another good show, another good show, another good show. I hope that you enjoyed yourself along with me here. I try to make sure that every recap you get the facts as they are. Of course, you know, you saw the thumbnail, you know my voice is dead, and you know why you're here, because I give it to you straight, no chaser. But also I try to bring soul to commentary as much as I can. So, but yes, indeed. So yeah, we're just waiting for the 1 hour, 30-minute mark here, and then we will head on out after that. Hello. Glad to have you here. Yes, indeed. So what are y'all thinking about the trial so far? Do y'all think Diddy is guilty? Do you think he's not guilty and you're on the side of Suge Knight, which that was a crazy development to me. I mean, the fact that, you know, your rival want to confront you where you could have almost been unalived and you on his side. That's crazy. Absolutely damn crazy. Absolutely damn crazy. I would have thought Suge Knight said, listen, I can't confirm or deny a damn thing, but you're not just in court for no reason. That's why I would have thought Suge Knight said, but that was, you know, in the words of cartoon, what did twist? Look at ass. But anyway, y'all, as the fireworks are going off behind us there, yes, indeed, yes, indeed, yes, indeed, yes, indeed. There it is there. So, all right, y'all, let me get y'all the Daily Motivator up here. Then we'll head on out. But another great show tonight. Absolutely. And as y'all know, I'm normally not here on Thursdays. As y'all know, I take off. But of course, it's the trial. So we will be here for the trial on Thursday. You'll get a recap show at 6 p.m. So yes, indeed, there are. Let me get y'all the Daily Motivator up here. Here we go. Patience taken too far becomes cowardice. There's a time to shut up and do something. Roy H. Williams, in the words of Michelle Obama, do something. Absolutely, indeed. It's time for the Day Motivator for Wednesday, May 28th, 2025, on a roll. Sure, you can manage to do enough, yet if you can do enough, you can do a little more than enough. Getting ahead means working ahead. The very first moment you could stop is a great opportunity to keep going. That doesn't mean working until exhaustion, but doing a little more here and a little more there will soon add up to a big advantage. When you've done what needs to be done, that's an opportunity rather. Every effort after that point is literally what gets you ahead. Once you've established some momentum, be reluctant to let it go to waste. That momentum can power you well past your original objective. Feel so good about doing enough that you're eager to do even more. You're on a roll, so keep it going, Ralph Molson. You know, I appreciate this, as I often do. I think as we are living in the world, I have come to recognize at 30 years old that there are some adults that are children and there are some children that are adults. I'm going to say that 2 more times. There are some adults that move like children and there are some children that move like adults. There are some adults that are moving like children and there are some children that are moving like adults. You know, the first thing I'll tell you about on a roll is never let somebody dictate your momentum, right? That would be like disrespecting somebody's platform and doing anything and everything that you want to do, but yet in the same token knowing good to damn well that you wouldn't do that on another platform and being disrespectful about. So the first thing I'll tell you about this is getting ahead means working ahead. The very first moment you can stop is a great opportunity to keep going. If you are given a platform, if you're giving a space, if you're given a space, and if you're given an avenue for you to rise higher, respect that. Please and thank you, because I sincerely, with this trial, it boggles my mind of how many people are defending Diddy. And it's just like, so this is the momentum that you're on? Because here's the thing, right? I know that we judge a little too harshly, right? The scripture says he or she who has a sin cast the first stone. But if you would condone this behavior from somebody that you don't know, that lets me know what you will allow in your real life. So if you would not condone somebody disrespecting you as a person, then you should not disrespect somebody's platform that you have to utilize. Well, you know good to damn well you wouldn't be able to do a fifth quarter or a half of what that person does or what I do or what anybody else does on your own fucking platform, okay? If it doesn't apply, let it fly, but if you let it fly, it must apply. That's the first thing I'll tell you. The second thing I'll tell you is every effort after that point is literally what gets you ahead. Here's the thing. Just because you do anything doesn't mean it's going to lead to something, right? So every purposeful effort after that point is literally what gets you ahead, because you can do anything for attention but yet be stagnant. You know what I mean? So like I said, boys and girls do what they want to do for attention. Men and women do what they need. Men and women do what they need to do for a purpose. Just saying. That's the second thing I'll tell you about on a roll. And finally, feel so good about doing enough that you're eager to do even more. You're on a roll, so keep it going. You know, I always have said this, just because you're not being seen by everybody doesn't mean you're not being seen. Y'all, we passed 500,000 total views this week on the channel. 500,000 views on one channel. I have to tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I would have never imagined that. And think about this, 500,000 views off of original content, 500,000 views and not giving up, but most of all, 500,000 views knowing that the assignment is bigger than you. The truest accomplishments are the hardest ones to work for. The truest accomplishments are the hardest ones to work for. The truest accomplishments are the ones that are the hardest to work for. So with that being said, everybody, it is time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you want more special, because you are always one of us. And trust, you may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Why it's one thing to call yourself, it's another thing to be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I have spent time with you. You have spent time with me. And hopefully, by spending time together, we're to be great together. And always remember, we're doing radio, television, YouTube, living your best life. Or you're just recognizing that, hey, listen, if you know that your client has done more than you are defending, maybe shut the fuck up and don't ask for a mistrial when he's guilty. Make sure the replay is not just ready for you to watch it, not just ready for you to listen to it, but for you want to experience it again. I love you. I value. I embrace you all. Always remember, receive love, you gotta give it, or receive love, you gotta give it, or receive love, you gotta give it. Wherever obstacles you overcome, where success you have achieved upon this particular day. I'm extremely proud of you, but no one else is proud of you. Be proud of your damn self. Finally, y'all, like I said about Cassie, think about everything that Cassie went through to be able to not only have 3 kids, but to still be here. Don't let your life be dictated by people who are not living their life, okay? Please don't. Please don't. Like I always say, if you want to see somebody who is a part of their rise, look at how they're moving, right? If you want to see somebody who's about having a demise, look at how they're moving. Because that starts, ends, and it all happens in the middle based on your behavior and what you give to the timeline. Commercial break and fireworks coming your way for the day that was, for the day that's to come, for the blessings on the way, for you, me, all of us, as a society, as people, as a culture. I feel the love and I send it right back to you. Good night, everybody. This is your final stop. Good night to you. But for the rest of you, give me some time. We're going to talk about 90 Day Fiance. Okay. Because this new spinoff, I'm actually here for it. All right. Love you all. Bye.
I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams. Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.